So, we're putting our faith in Parliament and or Congress for America and Congresses, even the Trade Union Congress, if you will, to create statutes. And look what they've done. So, in the 800 years that they've existed, that Parliament's existed, do we really think that this experiment in human relations, which is all it is, Parliament, is it a failed, or is it an utterly corrupt and failed one, or has it, been a brilliant success? Well, again, I know what I think. So that's 3 faiths. Got it right? That's 3 faiths misplaced in something from my point of view. What about the 4th one, money? Well, what is money? No, it's not what we buy things with. Because without money, you can't buy things. I mean, it's basically, that answer is not what it is, it's what you do with it. I'm asking what it is. For example, if I say, what's a bicycle pump? And you say, well, it's a pump for pumping up bicycle tyres. No, sorry. You're using the word you're trying to define in the definition. To define a bicycle pump, you would have to say it's a cylinder with a piston inside. And on the outstroke, it sucks air in. And on the upstroke, it pushes air out through a valve. And you could use it for inflating tyres, but you could also use it for lots of other things like pumping up balloons. The point is, you have to make a definition. You can't use the word you're trying to define or any association with it. So what is money? What is money? Anybody got any idea? Sorry, do you not use money all day? I can't, sorry, with these lights I can't really see you very well. All right, fine. Sorry, did somebody say something?
Paper and metal.
Sorry?
Paper and metal.
Okay, paper and metal. Yes, that's actually not true. That's a manifestation of it in real terms. Good try, though. Good try. I think you'll understand that that's not the answer in a second, because I'm going to define it. Money is credit. Oh, right. Okay, so that's just another word. Very clever, Veronica. That's spin, isn't it? Because you took a word and you defined it with a completely different word. No, the reason I called it credit, oh, by the way, if you don't believe me, see your bank statement. Well, these days, actually, they talk about money in and money out. But some while ago, you would actually see columns of credits and the opposite, debits. And I think most people here will realise that an accounting ledger contains a column of credits and a column of debits, and the credits are with numbers and the debits are with numbers, and it might actually have a third column called balance, which is the result of subtracting the two at any point in time. There are other columns like dates and transaction type, but it's the columns of credits and debits. That's the money. So money's credit, but the reason I say that is because if you then go to a dictionary and you find out, well, what's credit? The dictionary is now right. It's absolutely correct, because the first definition of credit is faith placed in something. So now go back. Politics, faith placed in something. Religion, faith placed in something. Legalese, faith placed in something. Money, faith placed in something. I did say a few screens ago that they're all the same thing. And I say, if one person has a delusion, it's called insanity. If billions have the same delusion, it's called money. Because all it is faith. Faith. And we can change our faiths just by thinking something different. Please explain to me why we need these, I believe, misplaced. I don't know what you think. You might think they're very well placed. But I believe they're misplaced. Planet Earth doesn't provide them from its own basic resources. Planet Earth is not that stupid. Now No other life form of the 1.7 million sentient life forms recognises them. Okay? And manages to survive quite happily without them. Are they missing something? Or are we missing something? Could we humans be sufficiently far-sighted such as to jettison money, legalese, religion and politics into deceptions, they are by the way, into the dustbin of history? Because personally, from my point of view, I think it's about bloody time we did. Money, I assume you're here because you are interested in freedom. I mean, it's part of the title of my book, Freedom is More Than Just a 7-Letter Word. It's very simple if you look at money versus freedom. I say, and I think it's going to be obvious, if you want money, you can't have freedom. If you want freedom, you can't have money. If you want both, that's what you got. You've got the freedom to come here. I've got the freedom to give this presentation. You've got the freedom to come and listen. You paid a little bit of money at the door, so you've got both. So why are you here? What's the problem? The problem is, you know, the reason why you're here is you know that ain't right. Now, you need to get your head around this, and by money, I mean any monetary system. Because you'll hear people proposing that, well, what we need is a different monetary system. Don't let the Bank of England do it. Let's have someone else doing it. I mean, for example, Lewis and East Sussex, they do have their own local currency. A Lewis pound, I don't know what it's called, but a Lewis pound is equivalent to a Bank of England pound. And people can buy and sell in Lewis in this local currency. And they can always change it, they can always exchange it for what most people would call real money. The reason why they do that is because if you're buying in Lewis money, it helps to keep the money within the local shops. You know, it keeps local businesses going. So yes, you can have different monetary systems, and there's a thing called a let system. Right. Vic Beck, Canadian I think he is, he points out the obvious. Due to taxation, you can never afford what you yourself made. Your employer says what you did was worth, say, £1,000 in a month or whatever, a year, or, well, I mean, if you're a barrister, 5 minutes. That's what you did is worth £1,000. After tax, you'll actually receive, I don't know, 750. I don't know. I didn't, you know, work it out like a tax inspector would. I've just picked a number. It's going to be less than £1,000. That's the point. So you never physically receive enough credits to buy what you yourself created. Your 750 that you actually receive will not buy something worth £1,000 that's marked up as £1,000. Of course, worth, buy, money, etc. are all imaginations anyway. What's the value of this? Whatever I imagine. What's this gold ring worth? To me, nothing, because I don't want a gold ring. Okay, I will be coming back to money with a vengeance, but I have to explain a lot of things. So I now take and fundamentally build up a basis for the later things. So I'm now going to move to another tack, but I will be coming back to this, don't worry, because I'm really going to hit that home, that money business. Legal versus lawful. Are you law-abiding or legal-abiding or both? Do you know the difference? Okay. What do I mean? Right. There are 3 things we call law. And what I'm going to present is a short analysis of those three things by their characteristics. And you'll understand why I do that. I'm going to start at the beginning with the universe and the laws of nature that come with the universe. And there are three essential characteristics. Mankind does not make them. We had absolutely no hand in the creation of the law of gravity. You just observe them. We just observe them and their effects. We enumerate and evaluate them. And in most cases, we're able to devise mathematical formulae to express them and utilise them and interutilise them, in other words, apply them. Examples of the law of gravity, there's Newton's laws of motion, Boyle's law, Maxwell's law, Charles' law, Ohm's law, etc. So that's the first characteristic. We don't make them, the laws of nature. Second characteristic, they apply universally and unilaterally without fear or favour. No courts are required. I usually drop something at this moment, or I'm not going to do it right now, but I usually have a pen or something and I hold it there and I say, if I let go to this pen, which way is it going to go? That way, that way, that way, or that way? Oh, it went downwards. We all knew that because we didn't need a court to tell us. We didn't need an opinion. We know things go down.